right now to Jay Huber on Facebook. Pretty sure I'm asking for a lot of people. When will legal cannabis happen? Thank you, Jay.
Jay, we'll come back to you. Is there any evidence that the Russians are weighing in with questions?
Not quite yet.
Okay, just keep me posted on that. They appear to be weighing in on Facebook all the time.
Right.
Jay, I think the answer is sooner than later. We've had good exchanges with both the legislative leadership, sponsors, and most importantly, with the teams that are in the trenches trying to craft this. And I think it is sooner than later. I think the Senate president said something in the vein of trying to bring it to a vote on October 29. So that'll be later this month. And again, he and the speaker are much closer and more in control of the legislative timing. But that feels, based on the tenor of the discussions and give and take that we've got, it feels about right. I would just say there are really three parts of this, Pearl. I want to make sure everybody watching gets that, not just Jay, but the general audience watching. There's really three pieces of this, and whether or not they come out in 3 bills or 2 bills or 1 bill, that's not what I'm saying. You've got furthering opening up the medical marijuana regime. So we already had a regime set up 8 or 9 years ago, and it was gummed up for political reasons. I have, through executive order, opened that up, and the Department of Health has been aggressively opening that up. When I say opening up, more people, more afflictions are allowed, more people as patients are in the system. We're going to have more dispensaries. Doctors are participating without the stigma that they may have participated with in the past. All going really well, but we do need legislative help to further open up that regime. That's one piece. The one that people talk about the most is the adult use marijuana, recreational marijuana. That's the one that's probably the biggest mountain to climb. And that's the one that probably gets the most focus and attention. I got to supporting it a couple of years ago, I guess, at this point. And I'm a dad. I got 4 kids, 21, 19, 17, 15. So I didn't come to this naturally or overnight. But a couple things. Most importantly, this is social justice. We have the widest white, non-white gap of persons incarcerated in America. And low-end drug crime is not the only reason, but it's a big driving reason. The other thing is people have to remember we're not inventing marijuana. This exists right now. It's not regulated. It's in the hands of the bad guys. Our kids are exposed. It's not taxed. And the inequities across particularly racial lines continue. So getting the adult use piece right here is really important. And I'm glad we're not state number 1, as we've discussed. We're learning from other states what they did right, what they did wrong, etc. Third piece, which relates to this, is a look back. You can't have, Pearl can't do something on Friday and be sucked into the criminal justice system when on the next Monday I do the same thing and it's legal. So we've got to have some look back provision to make sure, people use the verb expungement or expunging. I guess expungement is a noun as I think about it, but expunging, to expunge is the word people use the most. Getting that right is really important. And so that's a long-winded way of saying I think we're closer than not. Assuming the legislation comes to me in the shape that we hope it does, I'll sign that and we'll get off on all of the above. So hang in there, and I appreciate your asking, Jay.
Great. Thank you, Jay. And again, I want to thank everyone.